Just, oh, I can hear myself. Hello, what up, what up? This is your boy Jay with the Suede Soul and the Velvet Vibes. Lorenz Tall, Mr. Love Jones live, all war, everything, answer E, all of the above, a.k.a. Snapple Facts. And we're back. This is a live episode of Bourbon and Bull Shorts. I'm here sitting with my cousins from Bullshine, Wayne and Kim. Wayne and Kim, please introduce yourself. Oh, I guess I just did. But
I'm Wayne, one of the owners at Bullshine Distillery.
I'm Ken, the other owner of Bullshine Distillery. Are we on?
Whose microphone doesn't work. Oh, they got on buttons?
Check.
oh yeah, user error.
They didn't want me to talk, but I overcame that.
Right.
So two bad guys. I'm Ken, the other owner at Bullshine Distillery.
And so here at Bourbon and Boy Shorts, we talk about dating as single fathers. Well, myself, I'm a single father, and of course we have Wayne and Ken here. So we're gonna pry into their love life a little bit tonight, this evening, and we're gonna end it with some cocktails.
You know my wife is standing right there. Right?
Exactly. So she has
Connie,
undying support.
there's a little chow behind you. You just missed him.
Okay.
She loves chow dogs.
So this will be a personal question. I will start with Ken. Ken, what's the best advice your mother ever gave you?
How much time do I have?
60 seconds go now.
Go to school, work hard, and be something.
And what was this something you became?
Because that was great advice, because usually I did the opposite of what she said. Mm-hmm. So she said, go to school, get a degree, be something. I said, okay, I'm going to go to school, get a degree, and then open my own distillery. So I'm going to do the opposite of what she said to do. So that was the greatest advice.
What about you, Wayne?
Yeah, kind of the same thing. You know, work hard, be honest. She didn't mention anything about whiskey, so that meant it was okay in my mind.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Ask
Something
for
like
permission, not for forgiveness. Well, ask for forgiveness, not permission, right?
Something like that. Yeah. I don't do either, but,
Right.
you know.
But you I know the story, but you have your lovely wife here. And as a single man, one of the things I'm always curious about is, how did you know she was the one?
Well, if as long as you can see,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course.
all you gotta do is look at her. It's pretty easy. And I just want to put a little caveat out there. I'm going to be on my best behavior because our CEO is standing right in front of the stage with the white hat on, because he's always trying to make sure that we're working hard and doing the right thing. But yeah, I don't know. So when you meet someone, looks obviously are probably the first thing you see. But I think what's really important is when you have you match or identify on an intellectual level, and it was pretty clear that she was way smarter than me, so I had to up my game a little bit. So I think there's the physical attraction, but there's also the other things that are almost intangible. Like there's just that the street smarts, the educational smarts, and just the ability to really do anything. And like Connie's a great example of that.
Wow, that's amazing. And to that, because this is a question I was recently asked, or rather I was told that I'm high maintenance. Would she consider you high maintenance?
Well, I mean, we could ask her.
We could always ask her, Connie.
But, I'll probably answer that. Yes.
Okay.
I'm a lot of work, Jeremy. I'm not easy.
You're high energy. You're very high energy.
Yeah.
And to that, then how would you rate Ken? Is he high maintenance or low maintenance?
How much time we got on this?
15 seconds.
All right. So I will say Ken is one of the best attorneys I've ever seen, and I would not want to be on the opposite side opposing him.
Right.
However, anything domestically, he's super high maintenance. Yeah, like we need to domesticate him. If there's any, fine-looking ladies out here, and that sounds like a
wedding
guy,
dress.
but okay. I was like, hey. So Ken is single. He's
Yay.
an attorney. He makes whiskey. I don't know which one's more appealing.
He likes long walks in the park.
Long walks in the park. He has a horse named Dusty.
Yeah, and I like dogs.
That sounds like a
and
bad
he likes
joke.
dogs. Yeah.
Tell us about this horse named Dusty.
Wait, there's children present. We can't do that.
Dusty is my quarter horse. He's my only son, and he's a very tall, very big quarter horse. He's brown, and he got his name because as soon as you wash him off and brush him, he's looking really good and strong. he'll go lay down in the dirt and roll around 5 or 6 times.
Really?
Yeah. So
But he learned that from Ken, hence the high
Yeah, I learned it
manners.
from me. So yeah, like
How
father, like
long
son.
have you been riding?
Riding? Period.
Riding, yeah.
Period. Since I was about 3 years old, first time on a horse.
What made you want to get a horse? Because I'm quite sure you know a lot of people with horses, but not often do you come across
yeah.
someone that actually has a horse.
Yeah, there's a lot of horse people, especially in Virginia. I'm not like a horse person, but I've been riding since I was 3. My sisters put me on a horse when I was that age. Yeah, that's
Against his will.
My sister Jana is right here. She's one of the culprits. So no, I love riding. I rode all growing up. I rode with my cousin a lot, so it's kind of in my blood. I just had it everywhere. I love riding horses. Horses are, you get a real bond with a horse. You can't get with other animals. So me and Dusty were real tight.
I'm not sure what that means.
He's actually, my horse is actually a polo pony.
A polo pony.
He's a polo pony.
Okay. What is a polo pony?
So polo pony is just a horse that plays polo.
Oh.
So
Actually, it's the horse you ride when you
the horse
play
ride
polo.
When you play
but,
polo, the horse don't really
semantics.
play themselves. So I've been training polo a little bit this year. Hopefully next year I'm going to go play.
That's Ken's crowd. He hangs with the polo
Yeah,
people.
all right. Highbrow.
I
Very highbrow.
don't let Wayne into the polo club.
So you-
No, they don't let me into the polo.
So you drink your Bullshine with your pinky up, is what you're telling me.
We're going to see that a little bit later.
So to that, you're a single man. I'm a single man, but you're an entrepreneur, successful lawyer. How do you balance those things and still dating and seeking love?
Oh, I don't balance at all. It's so out of whack.
Plot twist.
Yeah, you're asking the wrong guy. No, it's I don't sleep a lot.
Okay. Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't sleep much. I prioritize, so it goes, if I'm dating someone, okay, that becomes kind of a priority. But really, we're in a lawsuit now with our company.
Right.
We're doing very well. I do lots of lawsuits in my business. So it's whatever is the most urgent thing right now. So if the woman's making the most noise, okay, that becomes priority.
The squeaky wheel gets the oil. So right. Wayne, I'm gonna come to you and ask you about keeping the bond, but Ken, still, with that, so you're busy. What is a typical date night look like for you, or what is a great first date for Ken?
Great first date for Ken is you take a girl out for dinner. I got a couple places in D.C. I like to go. Usually it's like a tapas.
Okay.
So Georgetown, Midtown. Then I go for dancing.
What kind of dancing?
Great dance night is a salsa dance lesson.
Really?
That is the most fantastic first date.
I would have lost that bet.
One of his
ever
many
seen.
names is Twinkle Toes Cow. We might see that a little later.
Oh, yeah.
You get enough 7 Roots in me, I might do some salsa here with it.
Okay, we're gonna take you up on that. Wayne, how do you keep the family together, the bond? Because I know in your career outside of Bullshine, you travel often, but you have a loving family that's very supportive and attends majority of the events. How do you keep the bond together?
I mean, you just said it. I mean, so Connie's out here. Enrique, he's actually holding up a Bullshine card right there, doing some advertising. He is our appointed CEO.
Yes.
And Samantha, she's my oldest daughter back there. Jessie, who's the middle child.
Right.
She's actually working at her job today, but she's usually out helping. So we spend a lot of time together, whether it's at events like this or when we're actually making the whiskey. So it's hard to balance because, like you said, we got a lot going on, but we always try to do a lot of stuff together, and a lot of stuff involves Bullshine, which everybody has a good time with. So it definitely helps.
Can I ask you parenting advice for my 11-year-old? This is a true scenario, and I have to deal with this not deal with it, but this is a conversation we're going to have tomorrow. My son asked me, or he asked, can he have a girlfriend? We said no, you're too young. He's 11 years old. And he asked why. How should I navigate that?
So I'd back up a little bit and ask him, what does having a girlfriend mean to you?
Right.
Maybe he just wants to, go to the movies and, he's not thinking the way, you and Ken are thinking, I'm hoping. So let's let him,
Right.
speak his piece. They want to come over and play video games, stuff like that. That'd be cool. So, give him a chance because, the more you say no and you shut them down, the more they want to do it. Mm-hmm. So I'd say understanding, what he thinks a girlfriend is, what he'd like to do.
Right.
And then you can lay it down on hey, okay, you're going to be supervision.
Right.
And he'd probably be okay with that, as opposed to, just laying the smack down.
Yeah. Because, his mom wants to just shut it down. No. And to your point, we need to have a conversation. I don't want any topic shouldn't be taboo in the house. But we need to have a conversation.
You got to talk about it, because if you ignore it, it's almost as good as saying yes.
Say that again. Early reason to get a 9 to 5. You're right. Your thoughts on it, Ken?
How old's your son?
11.
Son's 11?
Yeah.
I just say don't make it taboo. Like I said,
Right.
keep it open.
Okay.
Have him bring a girl over. And watch a movie at your place. I mean,
Okay,
if you're
okay,
around,
okay. Yeah,
what's the problem with that?
fair.
If you do something, I don't know. If you do something, in my mind, Wayne knows better. He's had 3 kids. He's got 2 grown daughters. But if you make it taboo or something, then they're going to do more.
Okay.
So that's kind of
Now I've been known, if anytime my daughter's Samantha brought a boy home, I may or may not have been cleaning my firearms on the kitchen table.
I've experienced that. It was either high school or right after high school. So I pick a young lady up. She's so her father opens the door, so he takes me into his den, and so he goes off of the wall and starts cleaning his shotgun.
Yeah.
And asking the question, what are your intentions with my daughter? And I'm like, we're going to get hamburgers. Right, so
What do you mean by hamburgers?
Exactly. No, that's a serious thing. In your years prior to finding love of your lives, did you experience a lot of that from fathers? And I know I appreciate it now because that means the young lady came from a quality home. And I can tell the difference sometimes, not every time, but sometimes, from that strong father presence in a young lady's life and not having that strong father presence.
Yeah, no, you're dead on. I mean, it's not that you're trying to be mean. It's just that you care.
Exactly.
And you know that you've probably come from a good upbringing, and that's important. Not when you're 11, 12, 15, you're not going to marry that girl probably, but it's important that you're getting somebody who's got just at least some moral compass, some good values.
All right. Okay. To that, this is a question we received anytime we post to talk about Bullshine, and I know we're going to get to do some cocktails a little later. But what is the best mixture to introduce someone into whiskey? What is the best combination? Because people think they don't like whiskey until they try it, specifically Bullshine. And then sometimes if I go straight to the straight whiskey, that's too harsh for them. Peach may be too sweet.
Yeah.
What is a good cocktail or combination to introduce someone into Bullshine?
We get that a lot, actually. We get those questions a lot, and people walk up, oh, I'm not a whiskey person. And so, we'll like to ask them, what do they usually like to drink? And it's red wine, or it's, white wine, or sangria. And we have a lot of different products that, could match sort of with that taste. Because the reason why they don't drink whiskey, or say they don't drink whiskey, because the whiskey they've had was not a good whiskey, and it was harsh. There's also there's an art to drinking whiskey. And so if you just kind of throw it back and you get all the bitter and sour stuff on the back of your taste buds, everything tastes bad. So there's a way to taste it, but you want to find out what they like and what might appeal to them. And then they'll say, what is your favorite? And my favorite changes every week. Ken's favorite changes every week. And they say, well, what's sweetest? And there's different types of sweet. There's honey sweet. There's elderberry sweet. Cherry sweet. So we introduce it to them and try to walk them through the tasting process, letting it hit the tip of their tongue. And I think we have a pretty good success rate of converting people over, because most of them will say, hey, that was not as bad as I thought it was. So again, it's just easing them into it, and just giving them a good experience initially, so they don't. So it's better than what they've had before, and so it's not something that I definitely don't like whiskey now.
I'll tell you a few things we've done at our events like this and tasting table. We will make a lemonade mixed with elderberry. Or elderberry whiskey mixed with lemonade. That's real successful. Everybody loves it. Yeah. And we a lot of times we'll sell that at events. Another thing we'll make is peach iced tea. So iced tea mixed with our peach whiskey. And that's been really good. We haven't done that the last few festivals here. In the wintertime, we are mixing our peppermint with hot chocolate. And we're giving out samples of that. And so that's a way like you said, we're introducing people. I've been at many events in the past month where I've sold bottles of our elderberry to people that would absolutely refuse to taste out of the cup. They will not. I'm a wine drinker. They smell it. It's too strong. I don't want it. Gave some lemonade. They end up buying bottles.
Oh, wow.
Because now they see, I can make this lemonade with it. It's fantastic. And I'll make it at my next party. So that's kind of, we're trying to give people a very quick way to do it. If somebody wants to make a drink, you can make a Moscow Mule
Oh, yes. Yeah.
with our ginger. We're actually in a bar in Fells Point called Todd Connor's. I plugged in.
Really? I
Yeah,
like Todd
we're on the
Connor's.
menu at Todd Connor's called the Bullshine Mule on their mule
I
menu.
didn't know that.
Made with our ginger bullshine.
They have great fried goat cheese.
Yeah. They're famous for a lot of other foods. And then old fashions, like we're making here tonight. I did a tasting at my law office 2 weeks ago, and I made Wayne's old fashioned recipe here, and it was a hit. And I got people now searching out, buying our bottles. A couple guys want to buy our bottles in my work. People who don't normally drink bourbon are now they're buying this. They're buying Seven Roots. They're buying other things just because they love the bourbon so much.
One of my favorite mixtures, and I like to do this when I have company over, is the peach with ginger beer,
Ginger beer.
muddled mint.
And the mint.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Remember
so
that.
So I
You
call
still
it-
haven't made me one, by the way.
I need. Okay, I owe you one. I owe you one. Yes, and I haven't tried it with the ginger whiskey yet.
Right.
So that's a great.
Try it with the ginger whiskey.
And I can make it in larger pitches, so I can pour it. It's a great movie night, Netflix and chill drink.
Yeah.
Because it goes smoothly.
Absolutely.
Speaking Netflix and chill, what is your favorite movie?
Favorite movie of all time?
I'll
Whoa.
start. This will blow your
I got a
mind.
whole genre.
I love The Sound of Music. That's my favorite movie of all
Favorite
time.
movie of all time. I would not have guessed. Not have guessed.
No.
Not what I would have chosen. But I respect
I don't know why. I love the musical.
My favorite classic movie is Casablanca.
Really? Why Casablanca?
I just love Humphrey Bogart, Lauren Bacall. Just the whole thing is done so well. It's such a romantic movie. Black and white. It's an old classic. It just can't be topped.
That's a good fall movie as well.
Yeah, it's a great fall movie.
Snow outside.
Oh, yeah.
What about you, Wayne?
Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Deadpool? Really?
Yeah.
Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Is great.
Deadpool.
Best movie ever. I probably watched
Yeah.
it 75 times.
Really?
It's just I see something new every time. But like if I had to say like I guess
Of all time.
of all time movies, probably like all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Those
Yeah.
are great
I
movies.
love all
yes,
those.
Yes. I know they created a whole Pirates of the. Well, they've expanded the park or the section in Disney World.
I saw
They created
that.
a whole theme.
Yeah.
It was there, but they've expanded it
Yeah.
greatly.
Yeah, it's pretty popular.
What's the best experience you've had this year, as far as like vacation trip, jumping out of a plane, hiking a volcano, experience-wise? What's the best experience you've had this year?
The best experience. So we went to Peru in April.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Where Connie's from. And that was cool. We've been there a bunch of times. And but I actually had to say, probably like I go to Canada a lot.
Okay.
And I first trips out to Vancouver, British Columbia, so all the way west coast. And then I went to Halifax, Nova Scotia, so east coast. Actually, just came back from there yesterday. And it's just two of the most beautiful parts of North America that I've ever seen. I've never been there. Beautiful cities. The landscape is just amazing. You know, there's a lot of water. That's water, by the way. WDER. That's how we say it in Philly.
That's how we say it in Baltimore, sir.
There you go. So it's
I
surrounded
say
by
water.
water, lakes, and it's a. See, this guy gets it. This guy gets it. This guy's gonna get one of the old fashions later.
stay here. We got something for you.
He's all right.
Stick around.
Yeah, but it's that was probably some of the best trips that I took this year. Got to see some really cool places.
Have you been anywhere, Ken? Anywhere unique, special?
Unfortunately, I've been somewhere special.
Okay.
So I own property in West Virginia, and it's in Randolph County, and it's an old homestead. And so I go there every month, every few months. It's a very nice place, very special place. Wayne and I planned out this business there. That's where we originated. So as far as that, I've been there. As far as traveling a lot, nowhere yet. But in about 4 weeks, I will be in El Salvador.
What's in El Salvador?
So lots of beaches, lots of bars and restaurants and beach towns. So
Women.
we're hitting that, probably girls. And so I'm there for 9 days.
Wow.
A group of about 12 of us are going. So we're basically going to hit about 4 or 5 beach towns and do some hiking. We're hiking up a volcano.
Wow. Okay.
So
Okay.
this is going to be a fun trip. Yeah.
So when you're in Salvador, when you're in Peru, who's managing the business? How is Bullshine still getting to the masses?
Yeah, we typically don't go at the
That's
same
why we're
time.
partners. We don't go at the same time.
Yeah, it's like the Coca-Cola recipe. We're not allowed on the same plane at the same time.
In the presidential bunker, someone has to be
Yep.
hit away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So something that I think is still interesting. I may not understand fully. how do you actually make whiskey? Like, I know there's a percentage of corn, there's a percentage of mash. Like, as much that you can share with the public, and I know we can all YouTube it. How do you make whiskey?
I mean, the general sense is what you do is you take grains and you essentially you boil them, and because what you're trying to do, so the grains release starches, right? And starches are really nothing more than complex sugar chains, and so you cook them to get the starches out. You let it cool down. You add enzymes at a particular.
Wayne is a chemist. That's why he's calling him.
Right, yeah.
I might get a little technical here, but
For the rest of it, it's just called sugar.
so
Right.
basically, yeah, you get the sugar, and you introduce enzymes to it, and there's alpha and beta enzymes. I won't go into all that. They do different things, but basically, when you introduce the enzymes to this sugar, or what they call a mash, you get two products. You get CO2 and you get alcohol, and so
That's what we like to hear.
that happens about it takes about 2 weeks to do that essentially. Once that process has ceased, the yeast dies off. You have your alcohol, and you run that through a still, which distillation is just the separation of things. So you separate all these different types of chemicals essentially out, and at about 173.3 degrees, that's where ethyl alcohol comes out of. That's the alcohol that we drink. So you got to be very careful before that. You got to be careful after that.
Okay.
Because you want to get what we call the drinking alcohol. And that's really it.
Okay.
It's a pretty simple process.
But I guess the skill, the technique, and the art comes into picking the flavors, knowing how to mix the flavors and things like that.
I'll back up on one part. Wayne's making it sound simple for him. It is, because Wayne's organic chemist. But really what we perfected over the years is Wayne attacked this like he's doing a lab project. And he's looking at the temperatures, tracking it precisely. He's looking at how much is boiling off, at what timing, and we're looking at how does it taste. So it's very, very important, your time of distilling, your timing of distilling, how long it takes, how fast you start, how you make what's called the cuts.
Okay.
So you're cutting out methyl alcohol. It's a really bad stuff that makes you blind at the very beginning. Okay. And you don't want to cut stuff off at the end, because at the end it's too watery. That's called the tails. And so what we found was a way to get most of the methyls out of the ethyl alcohol. So what you want is the ethyl alcohol. And I'll tell you a secret we found: if you ever get a hangover from beer, you ever get a headache, that's because someone left the methyl alcohol in the alcohol.
Huh.
We call that cheap cuts.
That's cheap cuts.
Okay.
So they're not distilling properly, and they're making it cheaply. If you ever get a hangover, you might get tired, you might get groggy. You should never get sick.
Yeah.
From alcohol.
Now you can definitely drink too much, even of a good alcohol for sure.
Yeah.
But most of the people that get sick way before they drink
cheap
too much
alcohol.
because they're drinking a cheap.
That's because it
type
was
alcohol.
either distilled wrong, or it was made cheaply.
Got you.
Yep.
Yep.
Now, this is a question that's going to go back, probably take you back a little bit, take you back in time. Well, literally take you back in time. So,
You mean fell off the chair? Or
yeah,
before
yeah,
that?
Hey, if I fall off this time,
yeah, you're going to be down for the count. So let's we'll imagine. All right, we get into this contraption. We look around. It has buttons. It's everywhere. It's dials. It's a time machine. So we're going back to our favorite period in time. We're going back in time. And then something happens. It's going wrong. We get out of the machine. We are 20 years in the future, 30 years in the future. You are your 15-year-old self talking to you now. What's that? How does that conversation go?
what'd you say?
Say it again, Sam.
So if your 15-year-old self got in a time machine and came to you on the stage right now, we have 60 minutes with your 15-year-old self. What is that conversation like? And then they're going to leave and go back.
Yeah, that's actually that's pretty deep, Jeremy. I
that
didn't
is
expect
deep.
that. I haven't had enough to drink to think something like that. Yeah, so I don't know that I change a lot of things in my life. Obviously, I think we all have probably a list of things that we'd probably do differently. I definitely tell them like to buy Google and Apple shares.
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Amazon, yeah. And what I would probably say is do the entrepreneur thing as early as you can.
Yeah.
Before you get tied down to family or job or too many responsibilities. Do your thing. Because it's fine to do it later, but like if you can start that early, That's something that I wish I would have done earlier on. So that'd probably be my best advice, because then, you work for no one, right? And that's part of, like, a big part of why we do what we do. We like what we do for our day jobs, but this is our future, and I wish we would have started it 20 years ago.
And what do you think your 15-year-old self would tell you?
What do you know, old man? As long as I have the same attitude. Yeah, stop telling me what to do, Derek. Right, Sam? Stop telling me what to do.
What about you, Ken? If we could talk to young Sheets.
Young Sheets. Don't stay in the field too long. That's what I thought.
I was hoping that was going to come up.
Yeah. I got hitched early, so maybe wait about that. I was thinking what Wayne said. Go to college, get education. We needed this. We need to go through life experiences to have the maturity to do this business, but do it earlier. I mean, I started when we both wanted to start our own businesses a long time ago. We just didn't have the vehicle to do it. But what I would tell young Sheets, just wait on the marriage thing. It's okay. Find the right woman, but focus. Don't waste time. You see, people are successful. They're not out partying and traveling and doing all these things, which I did a lot in my 20s and 30s. So focus your life, and that's the time to do it. Now, thank God we started this when we did, and not now. It's been hard enough, because now, a year and a half later, we're getting a lot of good hits, good successes. But yeah, if we would have started this when we first met, that'd have been great. But we weren't ready. We weren't there yet. We weren't quite ready.
So Cotton Sheets is telling Flannel Sheets to start early and stay focused. Yeah. is what I'm hearing.
Flannel Sheets. So back to the Bullshine. I know Christmas is coming, and I have a recipe. I got it from my grandmother. She has a recipe book that we were able to get all of her recipes written down. Now she's going through dementia. But one of those recipes is for sugar cookies, and it calls for a little bit of water, and I want to replace the water with peppermint Bullshine. What are some other ideas people can use to cook with Bullshine?
Oh, we get a lot of that, actually. Yeah. So we have a lot of people who take our ginger and make like stir fries with it. We have a friend of mine, his wife makes fudge with our bourbon and our cherry pie whiskey, and it is fantastic. It's out of this world. I mean, you could really use a ton of it because we have the peppermint, like as you know, which would be really good in really just about anything that you could make. So I'm actually kind of shocked. We have a lot of people tell us they'll make like a pumpkin spice cake, and throw the peppermint or some of the original even in there, just to give it that little kick.
Wow. My niece made some jelly with 7 roots.
How?
She put 7 roots and almond.
Okay.
And a little bit of grape juice and made this jelly. I'm not almond, excuse me, pecan.
Okay. And pecan jelly?
Yeah. It was weird, but it was so good. I mean, she was just experimenting.
Because I'm trying. My aunt makes a great rum cake with a rum glaze.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping I want her to figure out how to incorporate Bullshine into it, to maybe use the peach
or use some honey or something.
Use the honey.
Some honey.
My friends out of the honey and the ginger, they made like glazes. She makes like sauces for ribs, for steaks, things like that.
Would they call that a reduction?
Yeah.
When you're out with the polo ponies, that's a reduction.
That's a reduction. Yeah. A glaze. You guys make a barbecue sauce.
We don't yet. It is
for fun.
It is in the works. Yeah. So we've made it
we made it for fun.
Yeah, just to screw off. But we have a bunch of hey, where are you going with that? We mess around with stuff all the time. We actually got some. We're gonna early next year have some different type Bullshine branded products coming out, which will be, I guess, sharing the next few months.
Oh, that'll be cool. That'll be cool.
You'll get samples.
Oh, yeah. Yes, please. Yes, please. And to that, I know we had a conversation about cocktails. One of my favorite cocktails in the world is an old fashioned.
Yeah.
And I hear one of you guys makes a slamming old fashioned.
Guess which one?
I've made it before.
Gotta be Wayne.
His recipe, though.
So I was going to look, there's a lot of people that are just walking by, but we're about to make some drinks and give a few of them away. I'm just curious to see how many people are going to stop all of a sudden and stand. Oh, see?
Say free drinks.
If you can hear us,
what
is it in school? If you hear me clap once. If you want an old fashioned, clap twice.
All right.
So, Want
Yeah,
to go
so-
get into it?
I can get into it. So I think I know how to use this thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so Wayne is going to make an old-fashioned. So if people don't know what an old-fashioned drink is, I can explain. So it's made with a bourbon,
Okay.
and that's classic American bourbon. You can do any kind of bourbon, make it rye, wheat, whatever. Ours is a rye bourbon.
Okay. I like my old fashions better with rye. I found.
Rye
when you
gives,
compare
because
it, yeah.
old-fashioned, you have a little simple syrup, so it gets you put some sweetness in it. If you got rye, you get a nice little spicy flavor.
Yeah.
So you got like a sweet and spicy thing going on. So basically, it's pretty simple the way we make it. It's with our bourbon, simple syrup, but this is the important thing.
Okay.
It's called Luxardo cherries.
What are Exardo cherries?
So Luxardo cherries.
Excuse me.
It's called the original maraschino cherries. These are out of Italy. They're extremely expensive. You can get a jar like this, pint like this for like what, $20, $20 on Amazon.
How many old fashions will that make?
This will make a lot.
Okay.
You only use 2 to 3 cherries per. So this will probably make at least 15 old fashions with this. So it doesn't take much, but you basically put some cherries and then a teaspoon of syrup,
Okay.
and you mix that up. So what Wayne's doing right now, he sliced off the rind of a fresh orange,
Right.
and he's
I am kind of a snob when I make these things.
Yeah.
So I'm very particular. So I get a little I don't know. Would you call it overzealous,
Yeah.
Ken, or a little obnoxious maybe? Oh, look at all the people now.
all of a sudden everyone wants a drink.
That's how it works. That's how you get people's attention in this town.
Yeah.
All right. So what I did was here. First, I took the orange, and nice fresh orange, and we get the. Actually, I think I can talk right out of this. That's
Okay.
how they put this thing.
There we go.
You can tell I'm not on stage a lot. I don't do this a whole too often. So I take the orange, and what I do is a fresh orange, and you get the orange oils out of it, and it run it around the rim of the glass. Because what that does is when you get all the tastes together, you get that orange oil that just kind of stays with it and gives it a really good flavor. So now after I do that, I'm going to add, getting some feedback there.
So it's not just the oils. You're getting the oils for the taste around the rim, but you also get that aroma. So as you're taking the glass up to your mouth, you're inhaling a little bit and you're smelling that orange. So you get that aroma automatically coming in. So that's kind of the first flavor. So we want you to get a mix of flavors coming into this.
So again, because I'm snobby, I take 2 of the Luxardo cherries and I add with some of the syrup, because the syrup is it's almost like it's like a candied type cherry, and it adds a ton of flavor to it. I don't like when they use just regular maraschino cherries or no cherries at all. So again, it's me being snobby.
It's real important to use the right ingredients. So we've had most bartenders, most bars are not using, they're using regular maraschino cherries. They're not using the proper flavoring. I mean, I can't say proper, but the best. So if you're using this kind of flavoring with a good rye bourbon, you're going to get a nice, a really nice old fashioned. If you see someone trying to make old fashioned without rubbing the rim with orange, that's wrong.
All right.
So why do you think most bars are not using the best ingredients to make an old fashioned?
Easy, I can tell you, it's too expensive. It's hard. Most people don't realize you can order this on Amazon. All bartenders know what this is, but they say, "Oh, I can't find it. My supplier doesn't have these." Yep. They don't realize you can just order on Amazon.
I actually have the 3.5-pound can at home.
Yeah, they make
because
gigantic
I tend
cans
to use
of
these
it.
a lot.
Cutting this, what Wayne just did, cutting this, rubbing around the rim. Now, upper end, high end bars, a lot of hotel bars, they will do it properly.
Of course, yeah.
But someone in a hurry, this takes too long.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now what I'm doing here, and I don't really measure all that much, just so you know, I like to put about 2 ounces of this is our Bullshine straight bourbon whiskey. This is at 90 proof. So I don't measure. I measure with my heart.
Because you make these with love.
And he's got a lot of love coming out.
Just one of those guys. Yeah. All right. So about 2 ounces of the Bullshine, and then I usually like to use a Damaris simple syrup. Not everybody likes that because with the Luxardo cherries might be a little bit too sweet. So I'll just take a regular simple syrup and add a couple squirts.
Is it better to purchase the simple syrup, or can you make your own?
You can absolutely make your own. It's pretty easy. You're just essentially dissolving sugar, overheat. But this, to add a convenience, I do it this way. So this is, now a lot of people will put it over ice. I will sometimes, not all the time necessarily. And so it just depends. I've tried cold enough tonight to where we don't have to worry about it. So what I'm going to do is Jeremy's going to pick, or I'm sorry, Katie's going to pick out a few people out of the audience that we're going to have them come up over on the side here. We need 4 people, Katie.
Go Ravens. I got to have the Ravens.
Ravens has been here. Ravens
Yay!
has been. Yeah.
And of course, this lovely young lady and the young lady in the jean jacket, she's been standing here the longest.
There we go.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We got 4.
Okay.
We got 4. All right. So, now. All right, so we're going to give you guys each a drink. I want you to stir it up a little bit, and I want you to take a sip. And I want to see your reaction.
Reactions.
And don't drink anymore because then we got another surprise for you.
Yeah.
And if you're on Instagram, please follow Bullshine. Hey, Bowie State. Class of 08. Oh, okay.
Where's Jared? I know he needs a drink. Is Jared taking a nap again? Is Jared in the house taking a nap again? He too much
Jared's
whiskey?
missing
That
out.
sounds like
That's what
Jared.
he's doing.
That sounds like Jared.
All right. So let's get some audience reactions here, guys. All right.
Do we have an
first
extra
impression.
one I can give to the mother of alumni?
Check.
All right, so what do you think?
Best old fashioned I ever had.
You don't have to just say that now.
It's sweet and warming.
Sweet and warm?
Kind of like Ken. Look
I've
at
been
that.
called that before.
Great ingredients. I've had some pretty crappy
All right,
ones.
so did you guys like that? All right, now I've got something for you. So, now we don't sell this, okay? But this is our Bullshine bourbon barrel strength. So now, don't mix this up. I'm going to pour about a ½ ounce on top of each one. Now, our barrel strength is 123 proof. Now, you would not know it if I didn't tell you that, but now you've had the old-fashioned, the regular way. Now, we got one more, right? We got one more. Sorry.
One more.
There
So
you
that
go.
means it's between 61 and 62% alcohol.
Yeah, so
So
it's
it's very
pretty
strong.
high proof. So now,
Okay.
take a sip with the barrel strength that is not mixed on top, and
I
tell
see-
me what you think.
I see some good expressions right now.
I think I have hair on my chest.
She has hair on her chest. Thanks, Bullshine.
Mission accomplished.
Yes. It'll keep you warm.
I think
You
actually
don't need
it's
the
really
flu
good.
shot now.
What'd you say?
It's really good.
It's good?
Yeah.
It's warming me up.
I need a freaking Tums.
The big guy needs a Tums.
This is best. I mean, really.
How many have you had?
Just one. That's all he needed. It's 123 proof.
Excellent. You get that nice what that barrel strength does on top, you get the smell, you get the taste, but you also get the smell of the wood, of the really strong alcohol. But since it mixes with the rest, you don't taste. Once you mix it, you don't taste that strength, but you're getting the experience of it. So yeah, it gives a whole different character.
Yeah, so this is how I drink them at home. Like I said, sometimes I'll put them over ice, but we wanted you all to experience it and hopefully sound like everybody liked it. So, like I said, we don't sell the barrel strength yet. We will probably early next year, and we'll probably have it available at the first Friday next year.
Definitely.
Oh, by the way, we had a question how long this was. So the barrel strength, just like the regular one, is 5.5 years old right now.
Yeah. Did you say about selling?
Yep. Yeah, so we're probably next year. Actually, it's really hard for me to part with this, just so you know. But we will be selling it. We have a lot of people asking for it, so we're going to have to deliver on it soon.
Yeah. Any like local companies, we can special order. We can make special brands. We can sell this, but we're probably getting in some restaurants first, some specialty bourbon restaurants. Hey, thank you. Thanks everyone.
Thank you. I want
that
a barrel
Jessica?
as well. I'm not lying.
I can't
want
say
a
it was that
barrel.
Jessica. All right.
How long?
I'm here. We'll talk. Actually, Jeremy, so you haven't had it like this with the barrel strength. What do you think?
No, I appreciate it. I like my old fashions over ice cube, but tonight it doesn't need it.
No.
As a whiskey drinker, it's smooth to me. For me, it's smooth. I can taste the flavors. For some reason, I feel like with the barrel strength, it pulls the flavors of the cherries out. It pulls the flavors, at least to my palate, and pulls the flavors of the orange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody will taste something a little bit different. And it's, the orange oil, some people taste the cherry more, some people taste more of the flavors from the barrel, right? It's not wrong, it's everybody's a little different. I'm just a fan of high proof whiskey.
Okay. I know we're getting ready to get out of here, but how can people find Bullshine? Online, in stores. What is the best way to purchase Bullshine and to find you guys?
I used to be able to remember all the places that we were in, but now we actually have them listed on our website by county. And if you have a favorite store that you like to buy from, and we're not there yet, you can give them our information, and that's how we get into a lot of our places, by customer request, customer demand. So we'd be happy to talk to them and make it easier for you to get.
BullshineDistillery.com. Go and find this page. It's there.
Ride the bull.
Ride the bull.
And also, please follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and all of the social media as well. Go try a sample. Tell them you love them. Yep. Give Ken a kiss. Oh, that's the new hashtag. Give Ken a kiss. So I thank you guys for letting me interview you, talk to you again. These are my cousins. I love them to death. They're great gentlemen. Even better whiskey.
Well, we appreciate that. And
Likewise.
If Cousin Kyle was here, he could have one too.
We're missing Cousin Kyle.
Yeah, we're missing Cousin Kyle.
Oh,
it was your birthday yesterday.
That's my birthday.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I turned 29 again.
Oh, 29 to Holden. What did you do? So what did you do for your birthday?
For my birthday, I came here. Now, yesterday I worked. Tonight I came here. Went out Wednesday night in D.C. So that was my night out in D.C.
Where did you go in D.C.?
Went to Comedy Loft.
Ooh, comedy show.
Comedy show over on DuPont Circle, that area.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Very
On
familiar with DuPont.
22nd.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun.
Did you get Krispy Kremes afterwards?
Did
Whenever
not.
I'm in that area, I go to just because it's there.
I know it's a great. Yeah, I know that. Did not.
he's trying to keep the girlish figure, so, no.
We'll keep working on that.
You thought that was funny.
Right. Last question, Ken. How often do you take a date to ride your horse?
What do you mean by that, Jeremy? Can you clarify?
Clarify the a date. Well, before I introduce Dusty to anyone, I would guess, like how often or how soon after I'm
How
dating
soon? How soon?
I've been get to know her after about a couple months, maybe a month or so. Dusty's real gentle.
And then he lets her on the horse.
Nothing wrong with Dusty. But yeah, so I got to introduce Dusty to my, he's got to know, he has to vet her, make sure she's okay.
Well, you can toast it with a bottle. We'll toast out.
All right,
And we'll
I'll
keep
give my
the
cup
night
to
going.
Katie.
Well,
You're drinkless.
yeah, you're drinkless.
Yeah, I'm
You
drinking.
drink out of the bottle.
Well,
Katie took mine.
Or Katie, come up here and toast out with us
Yeah,
then.
Katie
We
will
can get rid of
toast out
Ken.
with
Wanna
us.
borrow my drink?
Okay.
That was mine.
I need a duplicate then.
Yeah.
Can do.
Well, thank you, gentlemen.
All right.
And
Thank you,
to
Jeremy.
all
Always a
cheers.
pleasure. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.